Welcome back to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and of course, I'm being joined by, actually, I think one of my favorite co-hosts, Tangela, who's the founder and creator of Soul Search, which is an incredible online community she's building. And we have a very special guest tonight who's not the first time on the show. She's returning to the show. Did you know that, Tangela?
Yes, I did. I know.
So why don't you introduce Deva and
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here with you, Alan, and so excited to be here with my dear, dear, dear friend and incredible spiritual teacher, Deva Vidia. Deva Vidia is a high priestess of Way of the Sacred and a master spiritual growth teacher. She is a channel who brings the divine feminine into physical form. Deva is a multidimensional intuitive healer and seer, a trained and certified Reiki master, and an Access consciousness facilitator. She guides her clients to healing, self-empowerment, balance, and realignment, accessing the multidimensional parts of self with a shamanic journey, high vibrational sound healing, and light language. She is also the published author of Awaken Priestess, and she writes and performs conscious music and lyrics for Way of the Sacred, as well as she has recently released a channeled album, Codes of Light, which is comprised of high vibrational tonal frequencies, also known as light language. So Deva is really an incredible healer, teacher, and guide. She has been facilitating energy healing workshops since 2004. She's also an expert in yoga, shamanic journey, sacred ceremony, and so much more. So I'm really just excited and honored to have Deva Vidia with us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tangela. Thank you, Alan, for bringing me on today, and such a great honor to be with both of you.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that you're such a big part of the Sedona community, and you are, doing some really great work that I'd love to hear about. But before we do that, why don't you talk about your whole vision, Tangela, and what this is all about, and then we'll go deeper into what Deva's work is about, okay?
Yeah, definitely. And I can just pull up. So Soul Search is a global online platform for spirituality and consciousness. And this is where we bring together incredible teachers, healers, and guides like Deva Vidia and Alan Steinfeld, all in one platform, so that, as we are all moving forth into this awakening, this enlivening, into this ascension, whatever it is you want to call this shift, you can actually search for and find people who can support you in this process, whether it's through personal sessions, courses, retreats. There's actually so many offers available and so many ways to be opening up, whether you have been on a spiritual path your whole life, or if you are completely new to the spiritual journey. And that's really what Soul Search is about, is really creating this online community where people can come together and start connecting and finding people to work with, to support them, and to support one another through all types of shared experiences. So I really invite all of you guys to come check out Soul Search. If you have a chance, it's at soulsearch.io. And we're also very excited to be hosting an online conference, Ascension of the Soul, which is basically a 2-day online summit that we are hosting October 29th and 30th, a 2-day online conference with Deva Vidia, with Alan Steinfeld, and 25 incredible ascension experts and guides who are going to be talking about all of these different aspects of ascension. We have Scott Katamas talking about managing our animal bodies during ascension. Raquel Spring talking about astrological perspectives. Melissa Fike talking about Akashic records and ascension. So there's really so many aspects of ascension. And I think one of the things we'll be going into with Deva is, what is ascension? What is our soul? Why is this even important for us to be delving into? And what's going to be so exciting is that we're going to be doing this for 2 days straight, and we're going to get incredible downloads from all of our amazing teachers and guides that are part of our platform. So we really are excited about this and encourage all of you watching to join us for this 2-day online experience.
You know what's so good about this is like people go to Facebook and they have communities, but you've put together a really specialized, evolving set of conscious people that are sort of leading the way, and Deva's part of that. And I'd love to hear, you know, you're going to talk about the dark night of the soul, Deva. That's pretty intense for a lot, but it's something we need to hear. So,
I don't do nothing. I don't do anything little or small, you know, everything comes big with me. Well, actually, Dark Night of the Soul is a very big part of the Ascension. And the Dark Night of the Soul is actually something that's fated, that our soul actually brings us into so that we can expand and grow. It's like the snake shedding its skin, you know. So when the snake is ready to expand and grow, it can no longer have that skin. It needs to release the old skin so that it can continue to grow.
Deva, we lost your sound.
Put my computer in. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
that's okay. Oh,
We lost you again.
what happened to Deva? I think, anyway, I think what she was saying, we'll fill in the places. But you're so good at that. You're so spontaneous, Sheila. That's why I like kind of co-hosting with you, because
Sure.
you just, but you know, I think she's right. The fact that looking at the dark night of the soul is like, you can't evolve until you looked at all the stuff that's in the way of your evolution.
Exactly.
And so, I mean,
Can you hear me and see me? Okay.
now we hear
Welcome
you.
back.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was going to use my phone, but it wasn't working on my phone, so I had to come back onto the computer.
But talk about, I mean, you don't have to give us the whole course, but what does it mean, dark night? Is it just because people go through a divorce or a separation? Your lips are moving, but we're not hearing you. But we're still not hearing you, Deva.
No sound, Deva.
But I'll ask you, Tenjil.
Okay, sure.
Is it just like a divorce or separation or something like that? And what does she mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that's a great question. And when we're talking about ascension, we're talking about really moving into becoming who we truly are and more into, who we are as spiritual beings. And like Deva mentioned, there's so much that we have to be releasing for that to happen. And unfortunately, as humans, we don't like to release willingly. And as a result, the dark night of the soul can just be that difficult process.
I think Deva doesn't know that we're not hearing her.
Oh, I know. Deva, we can't hear it. Maybe
so expressive.
She's so expressive.
But maybe can you text her and we'll continue?
I am. I'm gonna maybe call her because
call her. But why don't you call her? Let's show the Soul Search video, okay?
Platform. Okay, do you have the video?
You know that one? Where it's the whole
thing. Okay, sure. Let me do that.
Yes, do that. And then we'll, because I think it's such a beautiful thing you've done, and what an incredible vision to have people like Deva there who are really using their life experience to show people what they know.
Sure.
So, okay, pulling that up.
Yes, I'm pulling the video up.
And then once it's playing, you can mute yourself and do
ordinary times. During these extraordinary times.
Share your screen though.
During these extraordinary.
Yes, let me share my screen.
Yes.
Do full screen. Oh, okay, let's see here how we do this.
Okay.
Deva, can you hear us?
No, she's not.
She's like just not able to.
Okay, here we go. Look at this, everyone. Do full screen, and then you can mute yourself and play it. I think it'll play. Just play.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth. Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
Beautiful. I love that introduction to the whole Soul Search community because it really talks to our people. And what happened to Deva? Is she with us?
Let's see. Dave, are you there? She's there.
But we're not hearing her.
Mhm.
So did you call her? Because
She didn't pick up.
oh, I don't know what happened is what she says. But maybe if we can't get her back up and talking, we should just go a little deeper into Soul Search and what the upcoming conference is like. So I don't know. I'm not hearing her. I'm not, Deva, you want to say
Can you hear me at all now?
Now we can
we hear you.
Yeah, now
Great.
you're.
'Cause
I don't know what
hearing
happened. I
you
just started
last-
hearing you also. You just came
That's
on.
okay.
I'm so,
Yeah, you were gone for like.
It was
a
sort of a
long
little
time.
dark night for us there for a
So we
second.
we couldn't hear anything that you said. So we just we played the video for a little bit.
But
okay.
David, tell us about,
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think it's just like this.
Oh, no, you're gone again.
I think it might be a sound connection in your computer or your mic. But why don't we just talk about the vision of Soul Search though until she gets her.
Sure.
Okay. Because I think what inspired you to create this online community?
Sure. So basically, I've been on the spiritual path for a long time, and I was living in New York City, and I was hosting gatherings and events, and I just saw that people were really starting to open up and wanting to learn more. They were people who were never interested in meditation or retreats were some now coming to me, asking me for recommendations for different healing modalities, energy healing, shamanic practitioners. So I just started noticing that there was an opening occurring and people didn't really have a place to go to start exploring different modalities, looking for different people to be working with. And so that was really my reason for creating Soul Search, is because, we actually have so many modalities and so many practitioners available to us to support our work, to support our transformation, to support our growth, that we don't even know of, because, in the traditional paradigm of like medicine or psychology, we're not told that we have access to these kind of things. So now with Soul Search, people can really start diving in and learning more and connecting with different practitioners who can help them and connecting in community. So
wait, so talk about if we want to sign up, if we want to be part of the Soul Search community, we go to soulsearch.io.
And if you are a practitioner, you can come on to soulsearch.io and just get listed today. And if you are looking for a practitioner, you can come in here, you can search by keyword, and you can also join our online community where we have people posting, chatting about different
like different events they're posting about all the time.
Yeah. Like see Nadi's having a learn to draw this for Yantra course.
That's cute.
Oh, Deva, you're back. Wonderful. So
hopefully I'll stay back for a while. We'll see how it happens.
Exactly.
I don't know what's going on. It's just a Mercury retrograde kind of thing. Like I know we're in shadow period. We ended it, but oh, for God's sake. Are you still there?
These things happen. And so
talk about your work, Deva. Can you talk about what your contribution to the Soul Search community is?
Yes, I'll try. Hopefully this will stay here. So for me right now, I mean, for Soul Search, I do many different things. Like I have many different offerings, but for this specific conference, I'm very passionate about helping people navigate the dark night of the soul. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good. And so the reason why is because the dark night of the soul is a very important part of ascension. And many people are going through this dark night of the soul at the time that we are speaking. There's many people who are going through this great experience of pain or suffering. And it's actually a fated experience for us that our souls bring us to so that we can expand and grow. My dear friend who is an astrologist, and she's also part of Soul Search, she's going to be part of this conference as well, Raquel Spring, she told me that my soul's urge is to go through the dark nights of the soul. And I just love that. No, I don't. But the reason why is because each time that we go through a dark night of the soul, we expand and grow. We go into this really deep, dark place that catalyzes us to find new avenues so that we can move through this dark period into a place of peace and light. But the only way that we go through this is finding our way into higher levels of expression, raising our vibration and finding our way to self-love and self-reliance. And right now, Spirit has shown me that this is a critical part of how we are moving through the ascension. And a lot of people that I know in Sedona and throughout my friends groups and through my clients are moving through this. And I know that there must be people all over the world, especially for what's going on in the world too. A lot of people are in great fear about that, which brings them into a place of fear and anxiety, which leads them into these places of the dark. And so it's very much like when a snake sheds its skin. You know, the only way that the snake can continue to expand and grow is to shed that old skin. And it's not an easy process. You know, he has to scrape himself against hard objects and rough objects so that he can actually pull that skin off. And so that's what we're doing as a collective consciousness. Right now, our entire country is actually in a destined dark night of the soul, as we are in the Pluto return. Every 247 years, a country will go through this Pluto return, which is literally the dark night of the soul, which is when we're going deep into that underworld to see what we need to release, like that snake skin, and what we need to expand into a higher expression of ourselves. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but give us a little practical without giving away the whole workshop. If someone's having a really hard time, if they're depressed, if they don't have any motivation, they've broken up with their lover, or they're, unemployed, or they're just having a hard, what do they actually do? How do they actually be with that and transform it?
Well, that's a big question, Alan. So how do you
give
do
us
that?
a little piece. Give us a little piece. We'll do the workshop for the rest.
Well, to start, we can just know that this is actually for the highest and greatest good. That even though it's a very difficult period, it is for the highest and greatest good of your soul and for your growth and expansion into who you are meant to become. And so that, I think, just having that knowledge is part of alleviating that suffering, and so that you can move forward. This is actually become who I am and to do what I do, because a dark night of the soul that I was in earlier in my life, about 2009 to 2012, brought me into the multidimensions and helped me to start to work with my higher self and my spirit guides and angels and all kinds of multidimensional beings. And that's how I started to get into doing this work, is because of my soul going through this dark night. And it was not fun. It was several years. Some people can be going through it just for a few hours. Some people will go through it for a year. Some people may go through it for 10 years. And it's really about doing this work of self-discovery and self-love. The best advice I can say is to let go of what your soul is trying to get you to let go of. And that's easier said than done. I can tell you from my own experience, from my last dark night of soul, which I've just finally come through and come to the other side, and I'm finally coming back into myself and the more expanded version of who I am, that it was very difficult to let go of that which was my soul was asking me to let go of. You know, I had an emotional attachment, and my ego did not want to let go of that. And so it chose to suffer over and over again instead of letting go of it. And until finally I realized that I don't need to suffer. I can rise up. And so
is it
this is what I would say is,
I mean, sort of like attachment to people that really are not there for our highest good in our life. Is that's one of the things we have to let go of, I guess, the idea.
Right. And it might not be that it's just that we sometimes when relationships break up, and that's what happened for me, that's what brought me into the dark night of the soul. It's usually my trigger, but other people have other triggers. Some people lose their homes or their jobs, or somebody dies, or they get a disease. There's many, many different ways that people go through this dark night. But for me, yes, there was somebody that was leaving my life, and it was extremely difficult. This was a very important person, and I had deep love for this person, and we shared a life together. And so to let her go was a very difficult experience for me. And so I had to learn why that was going on. And as I lifted myself up into what Spirit calls eagle vision, and could look down on my life and see the full picture, what we were going in different paths. My soul is calling me to do this ascension work, to do the priestess work, and to bring people into ceremony and to help them to heal and navigate these dark times into the light. And her soul is bringing her on a different path. And we could no longer walk that path again together, because we would be hindering each other, and we would be hindering our soul's expansion. And so that's the higher vision. And so when we are able to see the higher vision, it does alleviate some of the suffering, because we know that it is for our highest and greatest good, and that everybody that is concerned is on the right path, and everything is actually in divine alignment.
Right, but the ego mind gets attached to this person. This is my future, this is my dream. Then it's like the ego mind, and then there's the spiritual awareness, and that's, I think, the conflict there that happens sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's what the ascension's about, really. That's what Spirit has revealed to me, is part of the ascension. And one of the reasons for the dark night of the soul is because we are actually all going through an ego death. And in the Course in Miracles, says that the ego is not our friend. The ego was meant to be a tool that we used so that we could write checks and drive a car, turn on the light. It was supposed to be our tool, and somehow or another along the line, we gave it power over our heart and our true nature. And so we started listening to the ego and allowing us to believe that its lies were the truth. And so the ego is actually the cause very much of our suffering. And so this has been revealed to me that through this ascension, what we are actually doing is shedding the ego. We're coming back into alignment so that the ego is once again a tool, and that our heart and our true mind, our larger mind that's connected to our higher self, that will be the one that we are allowing us to bring us into our next phase. Does that make sense?
Deva, I loved what you said, that it was due to your first dark night of the soul, that then you really came into the multidimensional realms and connecting with your angels, spirits, and guides, and really starting all of this work that you do now so powerfully. And I mean, it's interesting because I had the same experience. It was a dark night of the soul that also brought me to the multidimensional realm. So that, I think, is really powerful that you mentioned that, because that this is the process that we go through to make those connections. And do you want to just share, like, why does it have to take something like a dark night of the soul to?
Well, let me just ask one more question too. I mean, you can answer that, but I also want to know, if you didn't have that breakup, you would not be on the path you're on now. Is that part of that?
Okay, I'll answer them both. I'll answer yours first, Alan, and then I'll answer Tangila's, because if the breakup didn't happen, what was happening was that we were stagnant. And so her path is to produce her music and to perform her music. Apparently, I don't really know. We don't talk anymore. But that's what it seems. And my path is to go beyond where I have been. And what it really did was teach me. So it's sort of answering your question too, Tangela, because what it did was it each time I go through one of these dark nights of the soul, and I want to just preface this by saying that not everybody has as many dark nights of the soul as I do. Apparently this is in my chart, and this is something that I came to this world to do, so that I can continue to expand and grow in like very rapid and intensive rates, so that I can bring this information to the collective. And so the last dark night of the soul that Tangela was asking me about in 2009 to 2012, that dark night of the soul brought me to learn about shamanism and how to use shamanic journey to go into the underworld. It also caused me to start to remember my multidimensional gifts as a healer, as an energy healer, and all the different modalities. And so I started to, go into like remembering Reiki and reclaiming my Reiki skills and all of my intuitive healing gifts. And if it wasn't for that, because the reason why I started doing that was because I was just trying to heal myself. I never thought in a million years that I was going to be a healer or a shaman. I would never call myself that, or a priestess. These all seemed such, it seemed very self-promoting, and I would never call myself something that was so grand. But Spirit was like, no, you have to call yourself a priestess. That's what you are. And you have to call yourself a shaman because that's what you are. This is what you are, and this is what you came to do. And I would argue with Spirit all the time. But this is how, like, the dark night of the soul that I went through that Tangela's asking about, it helped me to reclaim these gifts from my multidimensional lives and bring them into this life, because I was only trying to heal myself. And then once I healed myself and I came back onto the other side and I was in a good place and I was empowered again and in the light, then I was able to use all of those things that I learned to heal myself, to heal others. And that's what's happening for this last dark night of the soul with my ex-partner breakup, is because I had to learn self-reliance and self-love. Like I always say, people say, oh, it's so easy, like they say, all you have to do is love yourself. Well, that sounds really simple, but we are in a society that taught us not to love ourselves, that we should give our power away and love everybody else but ourselves. And so how do you love yourself? And so this dark night of the soul taught me how to love myself, how to truly see where I was abandoning myself. Like I looked at this relationship that had been broken up, and I looked at it as a mirror, and I said, okay, well, what do I feel like this person did to me? She abandoned me. She betrayed me. She rejected me. She was bullying, and she didn't appreciate me or value me. And so I went into the mirror of my soul, and I said, okay, so how am I doing that for myself? How am I neglecting myself? How am I rejecting myself? Where am I abandoning myself? Where am I not appreciating myself? Where am I betraying myself? And I went into all of these things and really looked at myself and to see this mirror. And then I realized how I was doing these things, and I could turn it around into a different, into the opposite energy, and start to bring appreciation to myself, and to be there to love myself, and to see where I betrayed myself, and to stop that behavior and stop all the self-sabotaging behavior that was actually hurting me. And so
that's beautiful.
That
is so touching. I feel that. Thank you. Oh, go ahead. Continue. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to.
So I was just going to say, just to say that, to wrap that whole thing up, is so that as I went through all of that and I learned this, I learned how to navigate the dark night of the soul and come into this deep place of self-love and self-reliance. And also, another thing that Spirit has asked me to do was to consciously uncouple alone. I asked my ex-partner, to take some time to have a healing conversation with me so that we could dissolve. We had a spiritual marriage to dissolve our vows and to heal the energy between us. And she pretty much refuses to do that with me. And so I understand the reason why is because I need to learn how to conscious couple alone so that I can help all those other people who are going through these breakups and that are in these dark nights of the soul, so that they can also learn how to conscious uncouple and find empowerment and freedom to untether themselves and to really step into self-love and self-reliance from that conscious uncoupling. So these are the two things that I have received from this dark night of the soul. Just like the last dark night of the soul was me coming into my energy healing and my shamanic work and my priestess work. So this time I'm expanding and growing into teaching people how to ascend through this dark night of the soul and through these relationship breakups.
Powerful, really beautiful. Thank you. I mean, you're just really showing everyone what it means to be a teacher who doesn't just talk the talk, but actually has walked the walk and continues to walk the walk, and is here to walk with all of us as we're going through this ascension process together, which can be messy, which
yes.
And
but they always say it's like the chaos before the storm. I mean, like the chaos before the calm, right? Or the storm before the storm before the peace. So this is it. This is us just shedding all of the old stuff, and we're going to see our country going through this as well, because our country is in the dark night of the soul. So all of us are going to be going through it, whether it be in the collective or in individual experiences. And so that's why I feel like my work is so important. And how you said, Tangela, it's not coming from a book. I didn't read a book about this. I didn't go out and take a course or get a certification. No, my certification came from extreme, intense experience. And that's how I can call myself a way shower. That's why I like to call myself a way shower rather than a teacher, because I've been down that path and I can show you the way.
Well, I also want to say this is sort of what you'll be going. Instead of, you just gave us the whole overview, but in the workshop that you'll be doing at the Ascension Soul Search Ascension Weekend, you'll actually go through step-by-step process that people can reflect on their own life as you're leading them through it, so they can have that incredible release that you've had, right? Is that sort of the idea?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, it's definitely going to be a beginning of like learning how to navigate that energy and to understand it for themselves too, because part of overcoming that deep pain and sorrow and suffering is to understand. When we have clarity and wisdom and we really start to understand, then we can start to heal ourselves. And so, yes, I'm going to give people tools for that. That's going to be very much part of the workshop that I'm going to be doing that day, and the work that I do one-on-one with people as well in private sessions.
And that's
Right.
so important, because I think that's, and that's part of Soul Search, and why we have incredible way showers like Deva as part of Soul Search, because, there's, all of us go through incredible traumas, pains, losses in our life, and, just feel like we're losing everything and, are completely alone. But, with Deva here explaining to us, there are ways to create awareness and to actually navigate these moments. And there are people to guide us through this, like Deva. So thank you for sharing that.
You know what's so beautiful is that instead of just going through it and saying, oh, I got through that, she's now using it as medicine for
Mhm.
other people. I mean, you're sticking with it in a sense and working with it, because that's been laid out as your path and for whatever reason, maybe because you can handle it, and helping other people, because we all go through those things. So thank you for sharing all that.
Exactly.
And when can people take the course with Deva on your whole
So,
weekend?
so the conference will be October 29th and 30th online, and people can register at portaltoascension.org or at soulsearch.io. And Deva will be one of our incredible presenters, and she's also one of our presenters at our upcoming Super Conscious Music Festival, where she will be doing a light language activation as well on October 23rd live in Sedona. And Dave, if you want to share any other upcoming retreats, offerings, courses that you have available, that would be wonderful as well.
Definitely. Well, I just booked just today, actually, I confirmed that I'm going to be doing an event at the High Vibe Collective on the 28th in Sedona. So High Vibe Collective on October 28th in the evening. And it's going to be Return to Lemuria. So there's going to be me and two other sisters, Nadi, who is an amazing channel, and she's going to be bringing through Syrian and dolphin and whale information. And another beautiful sister called Echo Forest is going to be bringing through her sound. And as I do my light language activation of the codes with my bowls and my voice, bringing through the Lemurian codes, she'll be doing the light language signing. So there's going to be a lot of beautiful, very powerful experience. I really feel like this is an extremely powerful experience that we're going to be doing on the 28th. Also, I would love to share my YouTube channel with everyone, because there I am talking about some of this stuff as well, and giving offerings of all different kinds. I do light language healing and activation there. I also have channel messages that are coming through from the Divine Mother, and I also have I have shamanic journeys there that you can also take. So I would love for everyone to follow me on that YouTube channel, which is called the Oracle of the Mystic Jaguar, which I've been asked to be the Oracle of the Mystic Jaguar by the Jaguar herself, who is the mother of the underworld, who brings us through this dark energy to the light. So I would love for you to follow me there, Oracle of the Mystic Jaguar. And also I have a beautiful light language album that has 9 activations on it that is my gift to you. Spirit asked me to professionally record this. And if you go to my website, which I think that Tangela is going to put in the notes of this this video, but if not, you can just go to waytosacred.com and you'll see a golden bowl of light. Please click on that, and you can access that and use my light language album for, there's 9 different activations. There's twin flame, there's healing the heart, there's healing the inner child, clearing your energy field, healing ancestral wounds, many different things. And the last thing I would like to share is, I also created a priestess program for those beautiful, anybody who, it doesn't have to be for a woman. I mean, if you also are looking to be in that priestess, the priest energy as well, men can use it as well, but it is on Soul Search. It's on the community platform under the courses, and it's called Awakening the Priestess Within. And I would love for you to use that. It's a self-guided course that has PDFs, photos, videos, and audio. So please use that. I would love for you to follow that and to be able to start doing this work for yourself.
Great.
Wonderful.
I just have one quick question before we wrap up. What's the connection between light language and the dark night of the soul? I just wonder how you connect the two.
That's a great question. Okay, well, the dark night of the soul, we're not meant to stay there, right? This is only a passage. So as we move through the passage, we're being called into the light. And light language is an ancient language. It was the first language that we ever spoke. And so many of the ancient languages like Hebrew and Sanskrit and Egyptian and Hawaiian, Lakota, many of these Aramaic, these are all come from the light language, and they are very high vibrational tonations that come through speaking, singing, also through written, and also through signing and dancing. And so these are actually raising the vibration as you hear or see these codes, and they will help you to navigate through the dark nights of the soul, because one of the things that helps you to move out of the dark night of the soul is to raise your vibration continually. And so when you use these light codes, they will help you to move through this energy quicker and easier, and also to awaken that light within you.
Beautiful. Thank you for
Wonderful.
sharing even that little piece. I got something from it. I know a lot of people got something from hearing.
Definitely. And we have just a comment coming in from YouTube, from New Realities channel, from Anders. It's good to have a guide during the dark night of the soul, because one's perspective then closes down and can be useful for seeing new opportunities. So exactly, beautifully put, Anders. And that's what Deva does, is help really show the way. When we are just immersed in our own darkness, it can be very hard to see the light sometimes. So thank you for sharing the light with all of us, Deva. Really, really beautiful.
And it can be very lonely and scary. So it is important to have somebody to navigate with. So I'm very grateful to be that guide. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to everyone today. And I hope that I can help many people through this.
Exactly. And all of you can find Deva on Soul Search as well. And you can reach out to her for individual sessions. Even if you are not in Sedona, she does do remote work, remote healing, and can lead you on fantastic journeys. I can say that I've experienced her work for myself, and it's very powerful and very healing. Thank you.
I think you can only help people because you've been there, you've been through it. And because of that, you recognize people are in a certain level of the process, and you can guide them because you're a way shower. You've worked through it. So
exactly. Thank you for recognizing that, Alan. That's exactly it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Wonderful.
Tangela, for bringing your friends on the show, and we'll do
course.
more of your Soul Search Platinum members, which is really another level to Soul Search. So, and everyone tune into the conference coming up. Right?
Yes,
October
thank you guys so much for joining us. And looking forward to seeing all of you at the conference on October 29th, 30th. And thank you, Alan, for hosting the show with me and being a part. I always love hosting with you.
We do have fun together. Thank you. And thank you, everyone on YouTube, all the comments. Thank you for my friend Lily for assisting. And see you soon. Another live show. We're going to do more of these, right, Tangela?
We have several more planned. So
Okay, great,
fun.
great. Thanks.
All
So
right.
many blessings to you and everyone. Thank you for the great honor to be on your show.
Thanks, David. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
you could join us. And thank you all who are joining us today, or who joined